Hi, lovely. Before I introduce you to this week's very inspiring podcast guest, I would like to remind you that enrollments are currently open to an exclusive live round of Brand Alchemy, my signature brand foundation program. Imagine having unshakable clarity and confidence to capture the attention of your dream customers with ease and fun. Let me guide you to create your very own personality-packed brand blueprint. We kick off on Monday, the 21st of March at 10 a.m. Adelaide time for 6 weeks. Click the link below in the show notes to learn more and sign up to secure your place to become the master of your own brand. Welcome to Brand Lover, honest, real, and lively conversations for flourishing entrepreneurs and budding business owners on a mission to cultivate a heartfelt brand that connects with their purpose-driven mission. My hope is that you walk away feeling inspired and refreshed with a weekly takeaway in your back pocket that you can apply to your life or business. Welcome to the Brand Lover podcast, my beautiful friend Ashely Boston. I'm so excited to chat with you. Thank you so much for being here with me today.
Hey, Rach, and all the brand lovers out there. Thank you for having me.
Okay, I know that you are a Facebook ad for e-commerce extraordinaire, but I'd love to hear about what you do and who you are in your own words. Tell us about Ashely Boston.
Yeah, so I live in Sydney with my husband. He is in defence, and we have a chocolate border collie, Bentley. So, if you are on socials or you know me, you will see him pop up because he's sort of become part of my brand.
He's so cute.
And so I started my business in 2014 actually was when I registered my business name, and I left my 9-to-5 job. I was working in real estate as a social media manager, kind of fell into that accidentally, so I had no prior experience or anything, and everything I learned was self-taught. I'd had to invest in that training and traveled over to America, and which was amazing. And that was kind of where it all started for me, the passion of social media and digital marketing and this whole online space that I knew nothing about really. And that's where that passion was ignited, was in San Francisco. And as time went on, I realized, just the opportunity that was out there to support other small businesses in learning how to use social media. Like Instagram was only just coming out when I first started my business. And so being able to watch that journey from the old Instagram, and it looks so old looking back at it. But yeah, just being able to be part of that and see how I could support other businesses. And then I kind of got to a point where I couldn't take on any more clients. And, I was creating content, writing blogs. I was, recording videos for other real estates and all this stuff I was doing, but I wasn't enjoying it. And that's when I discovered Facebook ads in 2015. So I did I think it was like 15 weeks. It was really long.
Wow.
Yeah, it was very long. I remember that. And it was 2 guys who I'm actually still very good friends with on Facebook in the States. And that's where it all really started. And I just saw the potential that this could have for not just, local businesses, but people to be able to reach clients all over the world, to grow their business and reach their ideal customers. And so that's where it all really started. And yeah, where we are today is I focus on Facebook ads for e-commerce business owners to help them grow and scale. And so, yeah, that's where we are.
That's amazing. So, okay, tell us why e-commerce specifically?
Yeah, so it was probably about 3 years ago where I fell into e-commerce specifically. Prior to that, I was working with membership and course owners, which I love, but there's so many different, course platforms out there, membership platforms, and it's so different the way that we set ads up and we're tracking. And obviously last year, 2021, was the change of everything, and it made it really difficult to start tracking, like the revenue and those sorts of things. But 3 years ago, I had a client come to me, and I got so excited, and it's not really different, because the strategy, the strategy is really the same, taking the time to map out that customer value journey. But it was just so much more exciting, and the creativity that I could do, and the cross-selling and the upselling. And, I was able to utilize more of Facebook's platform. And so that's what really excited me. And a lot of my mentors are in that e-commerce space, and I just saw what they were able to do, and, the revenue that they were generating and being able to grow, quite quickly. That's what excited me. And so that's where I sort of took that plunge, and I actually started my own Shopify store to implement and learn more about that e-commerce side. And so that was a little trial that I had done, and it was just fun to just figure out and be able to sell my own products, so that I could work out how that all fitted in with Facebook ads. So that's where the e-commerce all started.
That's so exciting, because I can see the joy on your face. And do you find that because you followed that, your heart's desire, I guess, in what lights you up, do you feel like you serve your clients and your members and your students on a better level?
Yeah, it's funny. I was in a launch last week, and I ran a boot camp for the week, and I just taught just simple little strategies, that they could take and utilize. And in one of the feedback forms, someone had written, you can see the passion that you have and that lights you up. And I was like, that's all you kind of want to be able to do, because it's so hard sometimes, when someone's on the computer on the other end, being able to put that across to someone. Just being able to work with e-commerce clients, and just be able to do the background research and see what other people are doing, and then put your own take on it. And it's just so creative. I really do. I just love it. I really enjoy that part, because it's challenging too. There's always challenges. Something doesn't work, so you got to go back to the drawing board. And there's always a lot of e-commerces always have businesses have new products that they're releasing regularly, and so it's ever evolving and ever changing. So I find that really fun.
How exciting. It's so lovely. And isn't that's what we live for, isn't it? That feedback, those lovely comments and the successes, and seeing how we've been able to facilitate or even just be one small part of their their successes. And I'm very excited to listen to how that affects you. But so we worked together, I can't remember, was it 2 years ago?
Roughly 2 years ago.
I can't actually believe it's been that long. But at what point did you realize that it was time to invest in professional branding, and not just a logo or the whole shebang?
So I think there's so much noise out there, and so when we get started, or we have a budget that we're working with, and so I am horrified at my very first logo and all those.
I think everybody is, Ash.
Horrified. But I was getting to a point where I think it was just I'm ready to up level. I'm ready to take my business to that next level. And I felt like that my messaging wasn't clear. I wasn't really speaking to that ideal customer. My branding didn't fit me and who I was, and it just didn't reflect in the business. And so I remember going, okay, well, if I'm going to do this, like, we may as well just do the full shebang.
Yeah.
And so, and invested in your packages. And it has been the best thing that I've ever done to this day. And well, it just is, like, if you're thinking about it, or you're even starting a side little project. And so, you shared the little side project that I was working on. And even that was kind of like, this is a bit of a passion project. Do I want to invest in that branding? But it makes life so much easier when you're in Canva creating, those templates, or you're thinking about, your brand voice, and you've got photo shoots. I just did another photo shoot on the weekend, and it was so easy for me to go, okay, I know what colors that I need to work with, my navies or my browns or whites, or, like, it was just so easy to pull that wardrobe together for that photo shoot. And it's just totally changed. I feel proud of my brand and the business that I've created.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So my next question was sort of, how did that, once you sort of really step into and own and embody this brand that you're actually creating and bring everything into alignment, how did that affect your mindset? How did that affect the way that you were communicating your message and marketing? And then secondly, like, how did that actually affect your business and the direction that you're heading?
Yeah. So for those of you who are new here, my company name is under Unleash Multimedia. And I felt a disconnect from that, and I didn't want to go and have to change all my company name or anything like that. And so that's still there. But I really felt everybody knew me as Ashely Boston, or previously, but my maiden name, Louise. But that was a whole journey in itself of coming to terms with that, changing my name. But I just felt everyone knew me as that and not my business name. And so I rebranded to be Ashely Boston, and it just felt so right. And it felt like I feel so confident now, just even when I'm thinking about creating, little names for courses or whatever that might be. I just feel so confident in that, and putting myself out there as me, it has just resonated so much with so many people. And I guess my vision for moving forward is to be able to move into a different space as well, to be able to, I guess, do more strategy, more mentoring, and that fits with who I am, and the brand as well. So it just totally has changed everything. And like, the last 2 years have been obviously very challenging, but they've also been the best years too in business. So, and I think that all has something to do with it, and launching a podcast and it just feels whole. It just feels so good. And I feel so confident in that, in my branding, and whatever I'm doing, I know I have the resources to turn to. And actually, it's the same working with clients. We have mutual clients that we've worked with. And yesterday I was sitting down to create some new material for ads, and I was like, oh, it'd be nice to have that. So I just went back to her brand guide, and I could see, okay, that's a good tagline, and bring that across. Or like, oh, that's, great illustration. Let's implement that. And so even as a marketer, that makes it so much easier for me as well.
Oh, that's awesome. I like hearing that.
Yeah, it does. It makes it easy because we need to have that congruency. So no matter whether we're, running ads or we're social media, people will recognize your brand and your colors and you and, throughout those platforms. And so it's so nice to have everything, the website in that branding, the social media in that branding. Just even when it comes to doing reels, I try to use my colors in the reels just because now I've become addicted to that. And even when you see clothing, it's like, oh, I need that. Like, that's my brand.
Yes.
Like, you kind of get attracted to those things. It's funny.
It's not uncommon. I hear that all the time from my clients. What have you done to me, Rachel? My wardrobe's in my brand colors now.
Yeah.
Oh, how funny.
That's good. It's great.
Oh, awesome. Okay, let's dig into some hot tips for our ecom ladies out there. I would love to know, when is the best time? Like, what's the optimum time to invest in ads? Because there's a whole fear around investing too early, or, hanging on to organic strategies for too long, or, it's scary, right? Like, Facebook ads are scary for those that don't know anything about them. So when's the best time?
Well, now is always a good time. I think it's important to educate yourself and understand Facebook ads. So, even if you're not really keen to understand or learn and you just would rather outsource, I personally think it's really important for you as a business owner to know what you're investing in, knowing that what your return is on your ads as well. So, I think it's important for you to understand how the platform works as a whole, because even working with clients, like, I still need stuff from them. I still need content from them. And like, you're the business owner, the direction that you want to take the business. And so basically just looking at what it is that you want to start with, because I think we kind of think we need to jump all in, like, oh, we'll just build all our ads out and we'll just, put $50 a day on there and hope for the best. But you don't need to start there. You can just start very small. So, like, what is it that you need? Do you need, first of all, what's your website converting at? Because if you're under that 1% of a website conversion, and it still kind of blows my mind that a lot of people don't check their analytics in their e-commerce stores. So I'd be checking your analytics and getting familiar with those and looking at what your website is converting at without paid ads. Looking at, like, what's your average order value? How many repeat customers do you have every single month? And what's your traffic like? So, maybe you want to start generating some more traffic to your website, and you can just start there by going out and finding, cold audiences and creating brand awareness. That's all you might need right now. But it is important to be implementing a strategy. So if you're obviously sending, traffic to your website, you might have some abandoned carts sitting there. So just creating, like, a really simple retargeting ad, reminding people, hey, like, I noticed that you checked out our products and you didn't complete your purchase. And so just starting just there to get some wins. And that's what I taught in the boot camp, was about retargeting, focusing on the followers that you already have, the people who've already been to your website but haven't completed a purchase with you yet for whatever reason. We're busy people. We're doing 10 things at once. And so that's why I taught that and started there. Because we can get caught up on, oh, we need more traffic, we need more people, but it might not actually increase your conversions or your purchases. So that's why I just start with a simple retargeting ad, going out to people who already follow you, who already know you, utilize your email lists. And so that's where I would start. And it's challenging because there's so many changes within the platform and it always looks different. There's new changes happening at the moment. So the dashboard is the objectives are going to look a little bit different, but I think it's a smart move because it's going to make more sense to those people that aren't quite familiar with all the terms and things like that. So
okay,
I think that will be a smart move. But yeah, just start simple. But it's so important to have a strategy. Like, just, sending traffic to your website isn't going to just, overnight increase those conversions or those sales. So it is really important, but please do not continually spend or invest money into Facebook ads if you're not generating sales. I actually gave this lecture to my members yesterday, because they just, I know it's hard, but you need to just carve out that time, whether it's just 1 hour a week to go in, check how things are going. You need about 72 hours at the moment, even a little bit longer before, you might see that data feeding back through your dashboard. But yeah, please don't just, on a whim go, I'm just going to go set up an ad, and, we need to spend a little bit of time.
Like placing a bet.
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit. Sometimes it is. I set up some new campaigns yesterday, and the goals were brand awareness, increased traffic to the site, and we also did a website audit, which was really interesting. And so we made those improvements on the spot together. And then the second one was to just retarget her warm audience. And it's a test, it's a brand new ad account. We don't know what's going to happen. First time I've worked with this business. So it's really just, if you can put in the effort of, really taking the time to think about those pain points that your customers are experiencing and translate that back into your ad copy. Because there's so many things that make up a great ad. Creative messaging in particular is a big thing. And most people will just say oh, shop here, or here's a 10% coupon code. We really need to dive deep into that and take the time to think about, okay, well, why would someone want to shop with me rather than, going somewhere else? Or to my competitors. So definitely just taking that time, and just one step, just, as you get used to it, and it's just another tool to your tool belt. That's, it's you've got all these little tools that you can pull out when you need them. And Facebook ads is really about the whole strategy. It fits in with your email marketing, it fits in with your organic social media. It's part of your whole marketing sort of cycle, I guess.
So would you say that it sort of amplifies what you've already got in place?
Yeah, because
kind of like a turbocharge of what, so every, you sort of can't start a business and then just invest in Facebook ads.
Correct.
You need to put the stepping
Here's a good example, and I don't know whether. So I had an inquiry come through in the last few days, and her goal was to turn over $1 million this year. And I thought, oh, okay. Now she had an ad manager, and they have to fill out a questionnaire, and she couldn't answer what her cost per purchase was, what her return on ad spend was, didn't have an email marketing automation. And I was like, okay. And I could see how much she was investing in ads. And it's all right, well, there's possibly a lot of little things that we need to improve along the way there. So starting a business and then jumping straight in to do ads, I wouldn't recommend that, because you need to be testing your offers first, what's working, what does your audience resonate with, and testing organically is a great way to do that. So just, those that follow you on social and that are engaged with you, testing those little offers and finding what works is a great way to do that. And I mean, I have, when my mum started her recipe book business, we did start ads from scratch because we had to find an audience. But we didn't sell the book straight away. It hadn't even launched yet. But we started with building her email list, and we just started with 10 free grain, gluten, dairy-free recipes as an ebook, and just started building her email list that way. So then when it got to the book launching, we could do pre-orders, and we just would retarget those people that had signed up to her email list. And, we did a book signing and made a big deal about it. But that's, something that we didn't just run ads for the sake of selling a product. There was a whole strategy there. And e-commerce can be the same, like just because you want to make $1 million this year doesn't mean it's all going to happen through purchases through Facebook ads. Like, we might think about how can we build our email list to nurture our audience and buy through our email list instead of just purchasing through an ad. And so, like there's different ideas that you can come up with, and thinking outside of the box, like what is something that my audience really wants? So whether it is like, Rach, what do you have, a color guideline or a PDF?
Oh, I have lots to offer.
Yeah.
I was doing that. I now have a brand success blueprint and a couple of other little things that I don't know, might not be revealed just yet. But yes, let's go with the brand blueprint.
Yeah, so that's one way to, it's something that your audience might need educating in, and something that they can download, and in return for that, you're getting their email address, and nurturing them through your emails, through the podcast. That way you're building that like trust factor. And that's so important with ads. And I think that most of us just want to go out and, just have those sales rolling in, and but it doesn't work like that. The more that you can build that trust, and people will come back to you. Like one e-commerce store has over 40% of repeat customers, like every single month coming back and buying from her again, which is incredible. Like that's what we want.
Yeah.
And that's just purely because nurturing those relationships. And we need to think of those people buying our products as our friends, like not just someone who's, you
actually care about them.
And nurturing that. And
and you think about not just Facebook advertising, but advertising in general. It's like not all ads on TV are pushing a product down your throat. Like it's truly, if you sit back and watch the TV tonight and you have a look at what ads are on, there's a lot of just brand awareness, like car ads. They're not necessarily selling the car. They're making you aware of what's available and what, like how, and, and I go, just, okay, I need to slow down. But actually, I would encourage you, if you're listening, to actually switch on your brain from that perspective, from an analytical perspective, and have a look at the different types of ads that there are. You don't necessarily just put a coupon code out there and expect people to buy it, because they don't know who you are from a bar of soap. It's really is so important to develop that trust before people reach that point of purchase. So I love that. Thank you for pointing that out.
Well, and if people want to go and have a look and have a little sticky beak about, what their competitors doing, the Facebook ad library is a great place to go and research and have a look at, you can look up anyone who's running ads at the moment, and see the type of ads that they have running. And so for this new client that I was working with, I went and looked at her competitors, and I was reading their ad copy, and I was like, it's not really telling me anything, like, yes, we all should moisturize, we know that, but it's digging deeper into that, and for example, like using a cleanser. Why is my skin feeling dry after a cleanser? Well, so diving into those pain points that women are experiencing in the ad copy, instead of just being very generalized.
Yes. So where do you find the Facebook ad library?
You can just Google Facebook ad library and it'll pop up. And then you just need to, there's two little drop downs. So one, you can look at just Australia, or you can go worldwide. And then there's another little drop down and you just go all ads, and then you just type in the business name and all their ads will pop up if they've got any ads. Yeah,
I love that. It's like a secret treasure trove. Okay, so lastly, and I know you've given so many awesome tips. I could just I think that if you're an e-commerce owner and you're listening, you probably need to rewind and get a pen and a notepad out. But what's your best advice? What's your biggest gold nugget, piece of advice for e-commerce owners wanting to invest in Facebook ads?
Look, I do recommend you try to do them yourselves. So finding people to learn from that can teach you, and you don't have to make the same mistakes we've all made. Absolutely, I have made mistakes myself, and we all make mistakes, but they can be costly mistakes. And if you get it wrong, you can spend a lot of money and not get a return. So I think my number one tip would be to find an expert that you resonate with, that can support you in creating your ads, and help you along that journey. I definitely think that is, even in today, I still hear so many stories, and it breaks my heart. Just to hear those, and the investments. And I know what it's, for small businesses, it can be a huge investment, and then they have a bad experience and they don't want to do it again, and so that would definitely be my just number one advice. Just find the right people to learn from, get the right help in the beginning, so you don't have to make those expensive mistakes.
I love that. That's so lovely. It's just so protective.
It is a little bit.
But it's true. It's so true, because it's when you get to that point of wanting to invest in Facebook ads, it's actually really exciting. It feels exciting once you've made that decision. And but then it gets to the point of, well, where do I start? How much do I invest? Managing expectations, all those sorts of things. And it's so true. To have the right mentors in your life can be the difference between make or break, because having mentors means that they've being careful with who you choose, I guess, is that they have gone before you and they've made all the mistakes and they've done the research. And so hopefully that will, pay for itself, because you won't have to make those mistakes. So I love that advice. So thank you. And I just want to finish up with some fun rapid fire questions. So I'm going to ask you what your favorite of whatever I'm going to say is, and then it's just the first thing that comes to mind.
Okay.
You ready?
Yep.
Okay. What's your favorite app?
I'm going to say Instagram.
Time of day?
Morning.
Exercise?
Swimming.
Oh, lovely. At the beach or in the pool?
In the pool for laps. Found a new old passion of mine this year. So I've been enjoying doing that, going to the pool and doing some laps. Yeah.
That's nice. Yeah. Okay, sorry. Habit.
What's
your favorite habit?
Oh, cooked breakfast every single morning.
Oh, I like that habit.
Yeah.
Okay. Way to relax?
Oh, bath.
Nice. Thing about your business?
Passionate.
Beautiful. Thank you, Ashely Boston.
Thank you so much for having me.
Where can we find you?
AshelyBostonHQ.com, and all socials are that as well. So yeah, if you're wanting to find out more or learn more, there's lots of tools and resources that you can access on the website, or if you just want to have a chat, I'm always open in the DMs.
Beautiful. Thanks so much, Ashely.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening. If you loved this week's episode of Brand Lover, take a screenshot of wherever you're listening and share your biggest takeaway on Instagram or Facebook. And don't forget to tag me. I'd love to give you a shout out and thank you personally. Also, feel free to subscribe and leave a review to help the Brand Lover podcast reach more heart-aligned entrepreneurs just like yourself. Thanks again, and I'll see you next week.